right, welcome. All right, welcome, revelers. This is Off the Rails, Right versus Left, the podcast that we do because we think the left is evil. I'm Rob B.
And I'm Brad Lee.
And I'm Brian G.
And we are Off the Rails, Right versus Left. Again, we're doing this show because we think everybody needs to know that the left is evil.
Classic.
What's up?
And I forgot to kill the stream starting soon. Welcome, revelers, and welcome, Brian, and welcome, Brad. We actually got everybody this time from the beginning.
Hello.
It's a win.
And Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I need a little bit of that Christmas spirit over here because, like, I'm really tired of suffering Murphy's Law.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Murphy's Law struck again today. I locked my keys in the car. Yesterday, I got stuck.
That has nothing to do with
Stuck in the
Murphy
mud
so
for the
much
first
as
time.
it does Darwin.
Oh, asshole. Anyway, well, welcome, revelers. Thank you for joining us at our little podcast here. Make sure you like us, subscribe to us, turn on that notification bell. If you're on Spotify, make sure you give us 5 stars and all that good stuff. I don't really know how Twitch works, so when people join us on Twitch, I don't know how you guys rate us over there. So, anyway, a lot of stuff going on in the news, and then the last thing that I threw up on there in the description was just kind of a weird story. Did you guys get a chance to look at the link I sent you guys, or go to the link and search for that document?
Go for the CIA?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
So what it is it's a book, like written in the 60s, basically way ahead of time. Like, and the guy was like talking about all the, the real stories of all the lost civilizations of Earth. You know what I mean? And what's really weird is, I mean, there's lots of books on the subject, but this guy's book, they classified it. So they had to declassify it because of a Freedom of Information Act request. But then they did something really weird. Out of 280 pages, they only unclassified 57 pages, and it like jumps around from page 1 to page 5 to page 9. Like, it's the weirdest thing.
It is weird.
So,
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder how much the government actually knows. So I saw a couple different YouTubers were talking about it, and it just kind of like it kind of makes me wonder like what all the government is actually hiding. I mean, we already know that they're hiding all of Tesla's research, which was based on the construction of the Great Pyramids.
Yeah, we've known that for long.
Yeah. So, and then this guy's book talking about the impending polar shift that who he said should be in the next 50 to 70 years, and he wrote that like 70 years ago. So, with the accelerating course of the tracking of the North Pole, kind of makes you wonder. And his implications in the book are that the flash frozen mammoths are because of that the Sahara Desert going from a tropical rainforest to a desert like overnight is because of that. And the theory is when the poles flip, that they like flip for a very short period, like 6 days, and then flip back. But that 6 days that the Earth is getting bombarded by solar radiation, like, just cooks the planet.
Yeah, I've heard them talking about that for the last 10 years or so. The poles are already shifted a little bit. They're going to flip.
So yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and I heard that about the woolly mammoths and the freezing.
I don't trust the polls.
Oh, Jesus.
A
Racist would say.
That's because you're conservative.
The polls are crooked.
So anyway, so I just thought that was interesting, and it kind of makes you wonder. I mean, we talked about before the MK Ultra stuff. Like, this was the first time I like came across an entire book that had been classified by the CIA. But I want to go in depth on another show about everything that's in there, because it's like crazy. Like, I'm about halfway through it, so like some of it, a lot of it is discounted as pseudoscience. But considering how much stuff they considered pseudoscience during the pandemic, I don't know if I buy what they say is pseudoscience anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it seems to me they call science pseudoscience if it doesn't go along with their narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if
So,
it disagrees with their narrative, then it's pseudoscience.
right. So, and what do you guys think about the stuff coming out of Twitter?
I think it's hilarious how the mainstream media is ignoring it, except for Fox.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did.
I've heard some other
Fox.
networks lightly mention it that try to downplay a lot of that's coming out.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Yeah.
But the more and more that comes out, the harder and harder they're having a time trying to spin it.
Yeah, well, I like how they're just like, oh, it's all old news. It's like, no, actually it wasn't, because you wouldn't talk about it because you said it was Russian disinformation.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the Telegraph talk about it. I've heard Bloomberg talk about it. I've heard CNN talk about it. And it's all been, it's all stuff that we already knew. It's no big deal. It's nothing. It's not that big of a deal. It's a private company that can do whatever they want.
Biden didn't want pictures of his son's penis on the web.
Oh yeah, it's all about the details.
There's more than his penis on that laptop, you idiots.
Dude, what are the podcasts I watch? The guy's just like sitting there, like, if I was Hunter Biden, if I had his junk, I'd be doing softcore porn too. But still, that's not what it's about.
Why is he supposed to have a pretty big dick or something?
I don't know. I haven't seen it, and I'm not in any hurry to find out.
Yeah, I really haven't even.
There's minors involved.
I've heard them talk a lot about it, but I haven't gone on to look because I have no interest.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
You don't want to look because you would have to go to confession after you looked at it.
As Rob goes, that's what they call big?
Jesus Christ. Anyway, hi to our viewers. It looks like we got a couple on there.
That's big in Asia.
No. 70 countries, brother. 70 countries. I'm just saying.
Well,
I have been to Africa. I have been to Africa. Anyway, so no, but the point is, it's not about that. It's about all the corruption. Like
As soon as you said hi to somebody, we lost a viewer.
Oh,
way to go, dude! Way to go.
Rob scared him off. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah, that happens.
No, dude. All right, dude. I'm telling you, Brittany Griner for the Merchant of Death.
Well, I will say,
what is this world coming to?
I will say we're all happy that we haven't. Well, most of us are happy that we do have an American back on American soil. That she was that was unfair. The 10 years. For
So no. She's a criminal.
Yes, Rob. I'm talking for a second. Most of us are happy that she's an American. She's back on American soil, and that it was unjust for the length of time that she was being prosecuted for. That's why we agree. But to trade her for the merchant of death opens the door for other people to kidnap Americans and say, "Hey, we can get whatever we want just by taking an American hostage, and then trying to trade for them." I disagree with the trading for somebody who's killed, is responsible for millions of deaths. But that doesn't change the fact I'm still happy to have her back on U.S. soil. Now, there is that argument, like Rob will argue, that she was on Russian soil and that whatever the length of term is, that, for what she did, it was illegal, even though they don't always prosecute their own people for it. Then good for them. She should be in prison for another 100 years because that's what their law says. Even if it's fair or unfair, it's fair because their law says it.
Okay, I will point out that our vice president has locked up black people for longer periods of time for the same possession of the same quantity of hash.
Yep.
I'm just saying. In our country, she would have been in jail too if she went through an airport. She should have gone to jail going through the airport here, because that's illegal to travel with it here.
Except that it's legal.
No,
yes, it is.
No, she had hash oil.
Yeah, you can bring hash oil on the airplanes, dude.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law brings it from fucking Vegas to here.
Yeah. What she had was legal here in the U.S. It was prescribed to her by
but still, dude, no. Okay. Hash oil is illegal in Russia, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She goes to Russia regularly. Okay.
Yeah.
This was her 6th season of playing women's basketball in Russia, right? During the off season of the WNBA, okay? And I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I am not glad she's home. For what we gave her, I am not glad she's home, American or not. We left a man behind for a guy that kills people. We gave back Russia a known arms dealer. He's known as the merchant of death, okay? We gave him for a black, lesbian, transgender, not even a star basketball player, because WNBA star does not exist.
Yeah.
Name me one WNBA star besides Brittany Griner. Quick, hurry up. Name it.
Nah,
You can't.
don't look at me. I can't even name an NBA star. Is LeBron still playing?
Because it doesn't exist, okay?
I don't either.
So we don't get, and we left behind a Marine, but we also left behind we left behind a school teacher there that's been there for a while for the same freaking offense.
He's been in prison for a decade for the same one. He's in prison for another 4 years.
My point is, Brittany Griner knew the laws of Russia, and she thought that she was, for some reason, she thought she was going to get away with it because she had before. And before, when she was going over there and doing it, Russia wasn't trying to fucking invade Ukraine. So now she does it, and she gets caught over there during a war between Russia and Ukraine. What the fuck?
Where they need weapons.
She knew that was illegal. So probably you can't say that she accidentally put that in her bag. That's
Okay. So the bottom line is the libtards did what the libtards do. They let another criminal out of jail. And this time it's probably going to have thousands of lives on it instead of just a couple hundred, like happens in they're doing it in every city in this country. They're releasing murderers and letting them kill people. So why would they care if they were?
What a perfect time for Russia to get back the merchant of death, right?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I'm sure his networks are gone, but still, he'll figure it out.
Countries are laughing at us. We gave up a gay lesbian for the merchant of death. Oh, but he only had like 7 years left.
Oh, one that won't even salute our flag. Yeah. We brought back an American that hates America. Even though she gets paid, to play a game.
RT News is making fun of us, bro.
Dude, I'm sure all the news all over the world is making fun of us. That was the stupidest deal ever.
Shit about Brittany Griner, a drug addict lesbian, but they wouldn't release Decorated Marine. They wouldn't, because we were. But
it really does show Putin's right about the decadence of the West, though. That's what I think. It shows that Putin's right about the decadence of the West. They literally gave up a war hero, or they gave up saving a war hero so they could save the LGBTQI plus ampersand whatever.
Well, it shows the weakness of the current administration because they come out and say for the second time that we had no choice. It was either take her or nobody. Well, U.S. should never be in that position. That shows the weakness of the administration.
And that's not what was reported.
Yeah, if it had been Trump, he should have said, okay, you really want him out? Okay, you release every American in custody.
In the first place, what was reported in the...
Yeah, I mean, Biden should have just said, oh, you're having a hard time getting weapons, so it's your choice. And then they should have given him a nice slow-acting poison when they sent him back, before they sent him back. And then they could have been like, or no, they should have used one of their Novichok samples to take him out and then been like, oh, Russian killed their own guy. Dude, but and he's got like hooks all through the Russian military. He did not do what he was doing without connections in the military.
Right.
Yeah.
So that whole thing's a joke. But again, it's just Democrats letting another criminal out of jail, so more people could die. And granted, Grimer might not be responsible for those deaths, but every person that gets killed by any weapon that's trafficked by Boot or whatever his name is, yeah, that's on Grimer now.
Bout. I don't know what his name is. Victor.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced Boot.
I sell you beautiful 9mm. I sell you.
I know the argument he's been out of. He has been
Desert Eagle
he's been out of the game for 14 years, so he has no contacts anymore, which is he'll pick it up fast.
Yeah, especially since he was good at working around all the agencies.
Putin's already got him set up. You know it.
Well, and I also think he has a lot of information, like usable intelligence, that they wanted to get him back before we could flip him, thinking that at some point he's going to be sick and dying, and want to see his family again or whatever. And so sooner or later he'd flip. I think that's what they were thinking. You know? But then, of course, we get this idiot, Joe Biden, who has been wrong in every foreign policy decision he's ever made, in every foreign policy stance he's ever taken his entire career. Like, he's wrong about everything, domestic and foreign. Like, he's never done anything right in his entire career. I mean, how do these fucking liberals, like, excel at failing people upward?
They're sexual deviants.
No, that too. We didn't even get into that.
They don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind.
Yeah, and then like this clown that was working for Twitter, like the pedophile. You guys saw him, right?
Which
the
one?
Guy that did his doctoral dissertation on why teenage boys should be allowed to use Grindr to hook up with adult males.
Yeah, disgusting.
Dude,
like, how is this guy
blowing up, bro? Look at Sam Brinton. That freak.
Dude. I think the falling of the Biden administration is going to be the most embarrassing end to a presidency in history.
Oh yeah, Twitter isn't even done putting stuff out.
I love how he comes down and says, "Will you guys stop talking about my age? You don't think I'm old or something?"
You guys don't think I'm old?
You don't think I know I'm old? Why do you guys keep mentioning this all the time? It's like, really?
Well,
Because you're a million years old.
You'll be 82 before
He got
you get
lost on
reelected,
stage
and
with a
you'll be
little
86.
girl recently.
And if you can get reelected, you'll
Yeah.
be 86 when you get out of office.
Yeah. I don't know. What about Arizona? You guys hear what's going on down there?
What's that?
Kerry Lake's involved in a lawsuit.
Yeah. So, and this is the first time there's been an election lawsuit that actually has standing. There's enough votes affected, or at least alleged to be enough votes affected that the lawsuit can go forward.
Yeah. It's cool.
So that's kind of interesting, but it will be nice to see something go out. It'll be nice to see something go out in court and actually get settled on the merits of a case instead of dismissed for standing. Because I saw a really good breakdown on it. Like all the problems with like Trump's lawsuits is like this one's alleging 1,000 votes, this one's alleging 1,000 votes. Well, there's like 20 lawsuits, each alleging 1,000 in a state, but the margin of error was like, or the margin of victory was like 7,000. So each individual case could not have affected it, so it didn't have standing. But if they had been all grouped together, it could have affected the outcome of the election, and then would have had standing. But they had to be like filed on each individual claim. You know what I mean? So, but the reality is, like, Democrats just have a better ground game. That's why they're kicking ass. So, but hopefully the Republicans figured it out. I hope they changed the person in charge of the RNC's elections. Or I wish they had libertarians could get somebody that's not a retard. I mean, Jorgensen was pretty good, but they just had no like visibility. That's who I voted for president last time, Jorgensen.
Right. No, it'd be nice.
It's not fun.
As as Brad would say, it'd be nice if the libtards.
That would be liberals, not libertarians.
Yeah. Nice if the libertarians could find a good candidate.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest problem that libertarians have. They just can't find a good candidate that's going to, like, hold on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Brad, did you see anything on the election? What's going on down there?
In Arizona?
Yeah.
No, I just...
You usually catch more news than me.
No, I just know that he's got that lawsuit going, and there's I know that the judge called them both in. They were supposed to be in yesterday in the judge's chambers talking to him. I haven't heard anything about that yet, but apparently there's a lot of evidence, and that's why the judge wanted to talk to him.
Yeah, it sounds pretty accurate.
Because the judge is like the overwhelming evidence. You guys need to like get in here, and we need to figure this out. But I haven't heard anything from it, and I can't find anything about it yet.
Yeah, and it's nice that for Arizona they actually have statutes on the books for contesting.
The transgender battle, I think we're winning that one. Transgender organization cancels publication of brain sex article.
Did you say brain sex?
Yes, transgender organization cancels publication of brain sex article.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so do elaborate. What is the brain sex?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, do you want me to fucking open it up and read it?
Well, I'm a little curious about it. Like, that's...
Well, what is brain sex?
A transgender.
Just whatever sex your brain is telling you are. Is that what
Okay, guys. So this came from Daily Wire reporting by Christina Buttons. A transgender rights organization decided against publishing an article on a biological theory of transgenderism after backlash from activists. Translucent, a UK-based transgender advocacy group, released a statement on Tuesday saying it would no longer be publishing a groundbreaking article that claims being trans is a biological condition. Translucent had previously announced its plans to publish the article on Friday, December 16th, in a now deleted Twitter post. After receiving hundreds of critical comments, the advocacy group reversed course. Many expressed apprehension that the search to find a biological basis for transgenderism was misguided and could be exploited, with eugenics mentioned as a top concern. On Sunday, we posted that we would publish an article on Friday regarding being trans is a biological condition. The phrasing of the tweet was poor, said Translucent. The interest has been overwhelming, but many differing concerns have also been raised, and as a responsible advocacy organization, we have listened to all of those concerns. Consequently, we have decided not to publish. Translucent went on to apologize for any disappointment or distress the group had caused by merely announcing the article and reaffirmed its commitment to fight on. Keenan, a London-based transsexual activist who was able to preview the article, vocally opposed its publication.
Oh, we lost Rob?
Yeah, it looks like it. I don't know. It doesn't look like anything stupid. Or it's just a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Trying to talk about how transgenderism is biological. So that wasn't anything good.
Yeah, it didn't sound like much.
3 more states banned employees from using TikTok over security concerns.
Oh, have you heard anything new about Ukraine?
No.
Russia is getting their ass whooped.
Yeah,
State Department struggling to track Ukraine aid, relying on Ukrainian
I
soldiers.
know it's sort of stalled out a bit since the new general took over. It's kind of they've sort of dug in and the lines have sort of stabilized a little bit, which a lot of people aren't surprised because it's winter. What cracks me up is the Russian general saying that the Ukrainians need to wake up and face the facts that Russia has new territory and that's going to be part of anything that happens in the future. That'll be Russian territory. It's like the Ukrainians need to wake up. It's the Russians that need to wake up and see the facts.
Yeah. So I don't know, dude. Like, they managed to hit some bases in Russia. That's pretty legit. Do you buy that they were Ukrainian drones, or do you think that we applied those drones?
It sounds like it was from what I've heard, it was all really, really old drones that Ukraine has modified. I mean, really.
I mean, I gathered that it was they were saying that it was airplanes that they turned into drones, basically.
I didn't hear the airplane part, but I did hear.
Well, I mean, that's what it looked like. I mean, I did. Well, I mean, maybe Tupolev had regular drones, but I've never heard of them until now. And so I don't know. Sounds sketchy at best. I think it's I think I have greater belief that the Biden administration is lying to the American people, because that seems far more along the lines of what happens in the normal course of business.
I mean, what I've heard from the Telegraph over in UK was that it was some really old drones. The report is that there was really old drones that had been modified by Ukraine, which should never have been able to reach the distance it reached, but it looks like it was some old drones that was modified.
I don't know. I think Ukraine's doing a pretty good job of doing stuff that they're not supposed to be able to do.
But how about the 2 huge fires in Moscow? They're saying that it was not Ukraine, but it seems very suspicious that you've had 2 major fires in Moscow right now. One of them gives of a short.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, we're doing the same crap with their successful attacks in Crimea too. Is like they were just saying, "Oh, it's just a fire," and it's like, and then that hotel that they got with all the Wagner Group in it. Like, yeah. I love you. Ukraine's now playing Russia's tune. They're saying, "Oh, I guess all them Wagnerites were smoking too close to the ammunition and fuel."
Well, I like how Russia said, "Oh, only like 2 people died. It was not a major attack. It was no big deal." But yet, if you watch the videos, like the Telegraph is talking about, the building is a pile of rubble. There is almost nothing left of the building. You're going to tell me only 2 people died in that?
Yeah, and I like what do you call it? The founder, his son is working there. The founder of the Wagner Group, his son is fighting in Russia, and they even implied that maybe he was there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
So, and of course he makes a statement. Oh no, my son's fine, but we ain't seen no pictures. So is this another child of a Russian leader that gets taken out? That would be pretty sick. I don't know. I am impressed. Regardless of how much arms the West is having to give Ukraine in order to fight their battle, I am impressed with what Ukraine's doing with it. Considering they were in such sad shape, just 8 years ago, they did lose Crimea without a shot fired.
Well, it goes to show the effectiveness of the Western style of military, because that's what as soon as Crimea happened, we sent in our soldiers or our trainers. UK sent in their trainers, and we've been training the Ukrainian military. So it shows the adaptability and how effective the Western style military is. I mean,
yeah, awesome, but then it makes you wonder though, from kind of a national security, societal Western security thing. What are they doing to prevent those trainers from going and working for Russia and China?
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that China hasn't because they're so good at playing both sides. I'm surprised they haven't kept buying oil from Russia, but send some of their citizens as volunteers to go fight in Ukraine and get trained in the Western style of fighting so they can turn around and use it against us. That seems like it would be a very Chinese kind of duplicity, don't you think? Especially considering their lack of concern for the lives of their own people.
The Chinese citizens sent to Ukraine to fight for Ukraine. Volunteers.
Right, but to send them so they can learn how the West fights.
Yeah, learn the Western fighting style.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You think we're teaching them the same tactics that we train? You think we're
probably not all, but I think
the same stuff that we do.
I'm thinking basic fundamentals, probably. But our military doctrine's way different. Our heavy leaning on combined arms is way different. If we were fighting Russia, we'd be hitting them from land, sea, and air all at the same time.
Oh yeah.
We would have long since taken out. I'm sorry. The entirety of the Russian equipment has been proven useless. If we were fighting a conventional war, Russia wouldn't have planes anymore.
Well, they're so short on their arms that they're going back to World War II equipment that's
70-year-old weapons, and like half the time they don't fire. That's funny.
Mortars that are 40 years old. Hillcraft is saying. They fire it off. That's why it's not so accurate, because when you're making a mortar, you have to be precise on the weight and the shape, everything. Otherwise, and that's how you can market. This mortar will go this many yards. This mortar will go this many yards. Well, back 40 years ago, they were not that accurate. So when they're launching this stuff, they don't know how far, especially with the age and the degradations of the materials. They don't know how far or how accurate these arms are going to be.
Yeah, and I've also seen some reporting that it's possible that Russia's only got like enough long-range missiles left to do like 3 or 4 more waves of 70 to 90 like they've been doing, and then like 90% of those are getting shot down, so they're like really not getting much bang for the buck, and they're almost out.
Especially now that we're talking about sending Patriot missiles over to Ukraine. What do you think of that?
I don't know. I wasn't that impressed with how the Patriots performed in the first Gulf War. So, I mean, hopefully they've gotten better since then. But Brad would probably know better about the Patriot missile systems than us. He was in the military.
We're talking about the
I
brand
didn't
new
mess with those missiles.
No, I didn't say that you mess with them. You probably are a little bit more aware of whether or not they're actually effective.
No. They blow shit up, so...
The new systems are way more effective than the ones during the first Gulf War, bro.
Oh, I would hope so. Oh, speaking of war, did you guys catch we actually have our first functional hypersonic missile now too?
Oh yeah.
So that's another big jump. Like
So now
we need to
China.
Yeah, we need to mass produce those if they actually work. But then again, you know, in these missile tests, I always kind of go, huh? Because do you guys remember when they were like, was it the Bradley when they like came out with the Bradley? They like it looked great in all the performances, and then when they started manufacturing them, they like fell apart if they got hit. So
avoid the first and second generation. Give it a few generations to really work out all the kinks.
yeah. Well, I mean, they even made a comedy movie about like how big of a like scandal that was.
Yeah.
Like, but again, that's like trusting what the military says. So, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to ask what you thought about this whole new energy going back to cold fusion release at the
Well, okay, it's not cold fusion. It's hot fusion. It's just plain fusion. So, like, not to be confused with cold fusion.
Media is saying cold fusion. That's why I said cold fusion. Remember this report?
Yeah.
30 years ago, cold fusion, then it sort of disappeared. Well, again, they come out with cold fusion. Like, well, that's not exactly true.
Yeah, well, I mean, for one, it's completely like the opposite of cold fusion. But it's fusion. So, like, okay, so here's the thing with the fusion. Like, okay, so first to break down, what we have now, our nuclear energy is fission, which is the splitting of atoms. So what fusion is combining hydrogen atoms to make helium, I think it is, or helium atoms to make hydrogen. One or the other. Like, I forget.
Well, I mean,
it's got to be hydrogen atoms to make helium. Anyways, so I just forget which way the process is, but it's combining two atoms to make a new element. And when it does that, it has a massively energetic. Well, I know you know this, Brian, but I'm like explaining because we do presumably have people watching the podcast. And if they don't know, I want to explain it.
Taking one atom and forcing it apart into two, and taking that reaction of the one atom being torn into two to create the reaction, which is why it's so violent. You're taking one atom and ripping it apart.
But that's fission. Fusion is combining two atoms to make a new atom.
I said that's what fission is.
Yeah.
One atom, and that's why it's so violent. Is because you're taking one atom and ripping it apart. Where fusion is taking two atoms and causing a reaction. Right,
but fusion is even more energetic and violent. However, the energy required to make fusion and the temperature that you have to get it to reach the ignition point, we can't get. So the big breakthrough was simply that it produced more energy than we put in. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if the measurements end up being accurate and they get peer reviewed and blah blah blah. So if they're right, presumably, it produced more energy than they put in. That's all well and good, but they're still like not even like 20% of the way to the amount of the energy that they would need to be able to generate and put in order to achieve a sustained reaction or ignition. And at ignition, that's when it begins feeding itself. So as long as it has a supply of new atoms, the fusion reaction continues, just like the sun. It just continues. You know what I mean?
They're using lasers to create this reaction inside fusion.
Right. So
let's clarify why we're saying if they even know, or if they're going to produce more energy. It's because during the reaction, their equipment broke, so they don't actually know what the actual output of energy was on either test.
Well, then it doesn't sound like a valid test.
Right. So I'm even going on giving them the benefit of the doubt, assuming they actually managed to get what they said they got. Then it's still, they're only 20% of the way, and it took them 70 years to get it to be net positive on energy. So what, we got another 100 years before we get to the ignition point? And then if we do get to the ignition point, it's another one of those things like we were talking about that. Should they do it? And the reason why I say should they do it, this thing was burning like 3 times as hot as the center of the sun on Earth. So if you get it 20 times hotter, 5 times hotter, like at what point can we not contain the energy? At what point does it become dangerously energetic and risk igniting all the molecules on Earth in that fusion reaction and turning us into a mini sun until we burn out? I mean, obviously the Earth doesn't have that much mass, and as a star it wouldn't survive for very long, but long enough to make sure there's no humans.
That opens the door and shows the importance of why the Artemis mission is so important and getting the gateway up and going. Because once we have a base on the moon, you could do experiments like this on the moon and not have a threat to all water and life on Earth.
Right. But I don't know if I trust.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust scientists though, because I'm like watching, like, I mean, I've said this, like a whole lot of weird atmospheric phenomenon going on around CERN, for example, when they're running their super collider. Yeah. You know, so I mean, and. Yeah, I don't know if I'm willing to go as far as to say that they're opening rifts in between dimensions.
Well,
you sound like Max Headroom.
Like, I don't know.
Nobody really knows the answer to that right now.
Do I? I switched to Wi-Fi, so I'd hoped it would get better.
Oh, you went to the old 80s, you know, the one automated podcaster, the what's his name? The one that was on Back to the Future and Spaceballs. Your automated voice. Oh, wait, we lost him.
What is he doing?
No, but I mean, I think that's one reason that a base on the moon is such a great idea, because these questionable experiments that we're worried, it's kind of like during World War II, when we were doing the experiments on the nuclear bomb, everybody was terrified that setting off a nuclear bomb could end life on Earth, because it could light the atmosphere on fire and burn off all oxygen on Earth. That was a true and absolute concern most scientists had, that it could do that. well, by building a base on the moon, you could do these experiments on the moon and not endanger life on Earth.
Right.
So, I mean, yes, cold fusion would be amazing.
Wait a
if
minute.
they
What if the reaction ended up blowing up the moon? That would affect life on Earth.
That would be horrible too, but it wouldn't be immediate death for all life on Earth. It would cause some major issue for Earth, and it would, in long term, it'd be an indication that we need to get to Mars now. But that's one reason. That's the main reason that Elon has had such a huge push to getting man onto Mars. Because if something happens here on Earth, we still have people on Mars so life isn't ended right away.
Right.
And that goes back to the whole polar thing that we were talking about earlier. If the poles flip, so we lose our magnetic field around Earth for a short time, which will cause most life on Earth to be wiped out before it flips back and we gain our magnetic field again. Well, if that happens and we don't have other life on Mars when the magnetic poles flip, or an experiment like cold fusion happens and it creates what a lot of scientists think will happen, then man's done. Where if we have life on Mars, man will keep going on Mars. And Rob's back.
Maybe the aliens are slipping the scientists the technology, knowing that we'll misuse it and destroy ourselves, and they want to. It's like giving a roach colony a hand grenade to play with and see what happens.
Well, do you think the government is preparing to release information that aliens have been to Earth and we know this? Is that why they've done so much for this UFO stuff and it's like they're almost prepping us for this?
So there's actually quite a few different
He's an alien.
What was that?
Dude, Elon Musk is just trying to get home. Elon Musk is the alien. He's just trying to get home. So no, here's what I think. I think that it would be unbelievably arrogant of human beings to think that we're the only intelligent life in the universe.
Oh, amen.
So mathematically,
it's damn near impossible, dude.
Yeah, mathematically, like it's not damn near, it's completely impossible. There's no way we're the only intelligent life in the world or in the universe.
Well, mathematically, bees shouldn't be able to fly either.
Bees?
And bees shouldn't be able to fly, and helicopters should fall out of the sky.
Oh no, but they fly because of the sonic resonance formed by the honeycomb shapes on their wings.
But you're not,
dude. There was like the.
I've always believed there's life out there. To me,
yeah, but so, oh God, now you just made me like my brain jump to a completely different topic. There was a guy that was doing research with. This would be a tech talk thing. There was a guy that was doing research with the wings of beetles because beetles shouldn't be able to fly, right? And there's honeycomb, this kind of honeycomb shape on their wings that has like almost like a harmonic effect that causes the beetles to almost levitate, and that's why they're able to fly. And like he even did this like experiment, like attaching their shells to like the bottom of like a scooter and like managed to hover it. But it's another one of those things where the government disappeared their research when he died.
Yeah.
But it and then you like go and look at some of the you go and look at some of the go and look at some of the the research.
Having issues there.
Well, I'm trying to like break it down easier. You go and look at some of the research on like harmonics and acoustics, and then you go and compare it to like the shapes that you get reported in like the alien encounters, and it becomes Okay, that one back there. So, like the shapes, the octagonal shapes on the bottom of the UFOs. When on the rare occasion that somebody that sees a UFO is actually artistically inclined, they all tend to draw that same honeycomb shape, and it's just kind of ironic that like the insects on our planet that are able to fly that shouldn't be able to fly have that same honeycomb shape. And I wonder if that's like, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting when I was like looking at that. So did it make any sense at all? Anyways, it's old discoveries that were made and just kind of buried. But the guy basically had developed the ability to levitate using sound waves, something like 60 years ago. And he died mysteriously, and his research disappeared.
Yeah, no, I always like levitation. I mean, sound wave. Using the right sound wave can definitely push something one direction. So if you use it pushing it the right direction, you can push them into the sky or whatever. It's sound waves. It is an actual wave.
Yeah. Did you ever do the experiment in school where you like put the speaker next to a bowl of water?
No, but I know what you're talking about. So, I mean, you can see it if you're somebody's listening to some loud bass and you have your glass of water sitting there. You can see the waves to the beat of the bass.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then the same thing would apply when sound waves are moving through air, presumably.
Yeah.
I would think. So, yeah, I mean, I just think it's fascinating, and I think Brad's bored.
Well, I mean, my question is, back in the 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, when a lot of this UFO stuff really started hitting the mainstream, people started talking about it. People were not ready for alien life to also become a reality. So now you've had Hollywood really step in and start releasing all these films and movies and TV series and all this showing alien life. So now it's sort of become mainstream. The idea of life on other worlds, the idea of life coming to Earth has become so mainstream that it's almost like they prepped us for alien life to be released. And hey, by the way, we're here. It's not just Hollywood; it's reality.
Okay, so then I have the question. In most of these movies, we're fighting the aliens. So do you think they know that we're under threat and they're trying to prepare us to fight for our very survival against the aliens?
I think against some aliens, probably, but I don't think against all. But I mean, Hollywood always takes their own artistic licensing. So
Well,
mankind doesn't want to see movies about a rosy, utopian future. They want mankind barely fighting to struggle. It's finally fighting to survive. Man, the reason that we have peace in the universe is because mankind is unique and it brings peace throughout the whole universe.
Okay, but what I think is actually more likely, because I mean, if okay, from the Matrix, this was like one of my favorite lines from the Matrix because I always kind of held the same opinion about humans behaving like viruses, right? They move to an area, consume all the resources, and then spread to another area. So, you say that, probably not all aliens, but I would think that aliens either want to use us as slave labor, food, or they see us, like the benevolent aliens, just see us as a virus that needs eradicated if we start infecting the universe.
Well, I can see the argument both ways, that if a race is that advanced that they can travel all the way across the universe to our little corner, that they're probably, I don't know, that they're probably going to try to conquer us and take our resources. But there's so many resources out there. I mean, it's kind of like, why would they focus on us and not focus on another planet that, the life that they're not wiping out life? I think Rob's frozen up.
Oh, is he?
I think so. He just he was in the middle of a movement and just sort of went,
Oh, yeah, yep, he cut out on us. Yeah, I don't know. That's alien life is crazy, man.
Well, I got an argument with my brother-in-law, who considers himself a really good Catholic, which I've been Catholic my whole life. But I got an argument with him, and he tries to say, "Oh well, God made man in the image of God, and He didn't create life on any other planet." I'm like, you think God is so limited that He could only create life and life on Earth? That He'd create an entire universe with no other life in it? Like, give me a break.
Dude, there's still life in the ocean that we don't know.
Oh, there's tons of life in
We
the ocean.
still haven't been to the lowest point of the ocean.
Yeah. I mean, Rob's back, but it looks like he might be frozen still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. What's wrong with Rob? Rob!
Hey, trade.
Come
Hey,
back
trade.
to us.
Trade.
Come back to us.
Trade USZ is on. Hello, Trade.
Oh, is
Hey,
he?
Rob.
Is he
Trade
oh,
says
yeah.
back to the tie again. I
Banned again.
don't think we've been banned again.
Yeah, I don't know. Have we even been posting on YouTube?
I haven't heard anything. Are we having issues with it posting on
I don't
YouTube?
know.
I don't know.
Oh, Rob's position moved. Oh, now he completely cut out.
Hey, Trade. How did the what's the name? How did that game go? Did you find Rob's videos?
There he is.
Hey, Rob. Trade SD is back on.
Clash of Clans. Yeah, did you find it? Have you been watching his videos? Why does Rob keep cutting out on us?
Because he's driving and he's going in and out.
He said he couldn't find his channel.
You couldn't find Rob's video, or huh? Wonder why.
I don't
Yeah, when he
know.
gets back on, we'll have to try to figure that out.
I love this sound. What sound? Trade USZ.
Probably the sound of Clash of Clans, which I kicked on for a second. Hey, Rob, you with us again?
Oh, there's something wrong with your
Whoa.
mic.
I couldn't hear it. I couldn't. It sounded like
Your
Rob,
mic is
we can't
jacked
understand
up.
words you're saying. Terminator. Oh, if we can get to where we can hear Rob, we'll see if he can tell us how to find his Clash of Clans podcast. But I don't know. I mean, I think. What do you think about the whole alien getting whether they've been?
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's intelligent life out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
the shit finally went back into 5G. I had to reboot everything.
Hey, there you go. Hey, Rob, yeah. Trade FZ is back on with us.
Oh, okay, cool. Did he check out the Clash of Clans?
He said he couldn't find your channel.
Able to find your channel.
Oh, I'll go get the link. Hold on.
And he was wondering if we got banned again.
Hello?
Rob?
Hello?
Yeah. Okay, got it. Can you hear me?
Yeah. He said send link.
Yeah, okay. Pulling it up. But dude, that is like so irritating. Like T-Mobile's 3G network is like some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like that's the issue that I'm having. Like the 3G network is just like it keeps dropping out of 5G and going to LTE, and as soon as it goes to LTE, like it loses everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Trade Z is laughing at you and your 3G.
Well, no, I mean that's what it's doing. It's going 2G, 3G, 2G, like, and like I rebooted it, got it into 5G, and then it dropped.
Yeah.
What's he laughing about 3G? Every time your phone says LTE, it's 3G.
Yeah.
Okay. Your channel.
You working on that, Reed?
Yeah, I copied it, but then it didn't like it didn't want to paste over for some reason.
Yeah.
I think he's the one that watches on Twitch, and I don't have the Twitch stream, but there's the YouTube.
Oh, there's the YouTube one. Yeah. Huh. He had to update his router from 2013 to 2016 drivers.
So yeah, my problem is we're not making money off the podcast yet, so I'm still working while we're doing the show, and I hope to one day not ever be working when I'm doing the show. But I keep having Murphy's Law or Darwin's Law.
It'd be nice if someday I'll do the show.
Yeah, so it'd be cool. But I'm working on the other sidelines of broadcasting, so hopefully I can get monetized from multiple directions, so I can just hang out at the house in the Philippines and not have to go anywhere else anymore.
I'll build our studio down outside of Houston, up towards Livingston, and work out of there.
Yeah, that.
Trade, thank you for subscribing. He said he subscribes.
Cool.
Awesome.
So that's the Clash one. Somebody post them the link for the YouTube. So you can go back and catch all of our shows, because the link I just posted was for the Clash of Clans one, since he's the Clash fan.
Are you posting that, Brad?
What?
Are you working on posting that?
No, what is it?
It should be www.youtube.com/otrrvl. Maybe, like, I don't know.
www. What? /
Hold on, let me switch. Yeah, it should be. Never mind. Here, I'll get it. I'm already there, so I might as well just copy and link it.
There you go.
Let's see. And then how to type?
But leave the browser, it like screws stuff up. So
I'm just trying to figure out where I'm supposed to put this.
There we go. I got it.
Okay. Well, I won't do it then.
But yeah, that's what I was doing wrong when I was writing out the link. You have to put the @ So it's youtube.com/@otrrvl.
Yeah.
I just never saw the @ sign in a web address before.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with our DLive feed. It never goes live. I might have to delete that one and find another one.
Yeah. So what now? We've been talking about the new energy fusion breakthroughs that they've released. We've talked about aliens and coming to Earth.
Okay, but do you think that the lizard people are...
Speaking about energy and everything, how about this fucking guy that they had to deal with nuclear waste disposal and all that shit? What, Sam Brinton? Stealing luggage?
Oh, God, the energy secretary or whatever?
Yeah, what is up with that?
The transsexual or whatever?
He's a non-binary transgender.
Transgender, that's it.
I don't know what that.
Yeah, he's stolen twice now.
Okay, but if you're non-binary, how are you transgender?
Exactly. This is all made up. This is all a joke. Like it took 2 instances of him stealing somebody's high-end luggage for the Biden admin to fire him.
So what was the tagline for Whose Line Is It Anyway?
How do you walk into the airport with no luggage and then on the other end come out and take luggage?
Tear the tag. Look at the tag. Tear the tag off. Take the luggage to the hotel. Take all the clothes out of the luggage and go, well, this isn't my clothes. Put it in the drawers in the hotel, and then take the luggage home and use it later.
To tell the cops that you didn't take the fucking luggage, and then that you did, but the luggage that was in there was yours.
But the clothes were yours.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize till I got home and opened it that it wasn't mine. But I felt like dumping all the luggage or all the clothes out of it and just taking the luggage anyways.
And the clothes were never found.
That just makes me
So
laugh.
do you think he's going to end up saying that he's mentally ill and he should get off on some sort of mental disability thing?
Oh, I don't know.
No, he's gonna be put in a cell where the cameras don't work and the guards fall asleep.
I mean, but none of us is really surprised by this because when they're not willing to actually or care about actually finding the back information about these people, all they care about is checking on a checkbox. Well, he's non-binary. Now we can say we have a non-binary person in our administration.
Oh, he's non-binary, so we can automatically tell everybody in the world that we hire crazy people.
Yeah. I would agree with that. That would be an accurate assessment of this situation. So Sam Brinton, that's who you're talking about.
You don't need to say his name. We don't need to know his name. Who cares about his name? He's a criminal.
Yeah. He's a serial baggage thief.
He's a
right.
We're gonna find this guy hanging out at the fucking baggage claim at the airports from now on.
I mean, he's did he quit or did we fire him finally?
They fired him.
He got fired. Finally. Hello.
Oh, did he freeze up on us again?
Probably. So what else do we got here?
I don't know. What else do we have? What else is in the news? Can't think of anything super. Oh, the Respect for Marriage Act. The delinquents that they had at the White House. What do you think about that?
Say that again, the win?
How do you feel about the Respect for Marriage Act that they just passed?
Oh, I haven't read through it. I mean, I don't have a problem with the government recognizing gay marriages and stuff. I mean, to me, that's fine. But if it forces other organizations such as religions to recognize gay marriage, then I have a problem with it.
Okay, so here's what it does is it so they say that it's not going to affect religious organizations, but if you own like a cake shop and you disagree with gay marriage, you can't tell a gay couple that you aren't going to bake their cake.
Well, that's already been
in
the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I know. That's why this whole bill.
And they found in favor of the baker.
Right. Well, now they passed this law, and the same baker that won that lawsuit is under another lawsuit because a trans couple came out and wanted the baker to bake them a cake celebrating their transgender surgery.
Yeah, and she said no. She said she'll bake them a cake, but she will not bake one celebrating something that she cannot support.
Right, because they can't force her to use her artistic expression for something that she disagrees with or doesn't believe in.
Well, and
Because of her religious beliefs.
and that's why she'll end up winning.
But now,
if they just walk
we
in
have this law that
yeah,
codifies, so, and there's no protection in the law against just religious people in their businesses. But there is something that says, that if a church doesn't want to perform a gay marriage, it doesn't have to, and they can't be sued for it. So it has to be like
why would you even want a church to perform a wedding for you if they disagree with you?
Right. Because they think that they could sue you. That's why.
Yeah. No, I think it'll end up being, if that's the case, it'll end up being knocked down by the Supreme Court because it's unjust. You can't force someone to go against their religious beliefs. So it's not the fact that she'll bake them anything they want as long as it's not celebrating something she disagrees with religiously. So something saying, "Yay, you're two gay people getting married," she won't do. But if you want to just have a normal wedding cake with nothing else, she would do that as long as it's not celebrating something that her religion disagrees with.
Right. She's just not going to bake a cake that says.
Yeah, she's more than happy to bake a couple of cakes.
Yeah, she's not going to bake a cake saying congratulations on your wedding, Adam and Steve.
Yeah, she's happy to bake any cake they want as long as it doesn't showing them celebrating something that she disagrees with religiously.
Right.
So it doesn't affect they're gay. It's just the fact that she doesn't support gay marriage because of her religion.
But now with that stupid law that they put in place that is just ridiculous.
We'll end up getting
that's going to have to go through the Supreme Court too. And now we've got that baker going through the same type of deal at this point in time. It's like, dude, are our justices that conservative?
Well, and the baker was a man. It's the woman is the internet site. Some gay couple wanted this woman who creates internet sites to create them an internet site celebrating their gay wedding. Was it a wedding? Rob, you're totally mechanicalized again. We can't understand. We can hear you, but we can't understand a word you're saying.
It sounds like an alien we were just talking about.
Yeah, exactly, Trey. He sounds like a robot. Yeah. But yeah, so it'll end up getting, if that's the case, then it's unjust. It should get knocked down by the Supreme Court if it's challenged by one. Because you can't create a law that's going to break the Constitution, which ensures religious separation.
Right.
The religious rights. So I don't have a problem with. I have friends that are gay. I don't have a problem with the government recognizing gay marriage.
But that's the thing, that we already had a law recognizing gay marriage.
Yeah, and I mean the reason they did it is because they think the Supreme Court is going to come back and knock down gay marriage and say, "Oh, well, that should be illegal. It should not be allowed." So they codified the right of people to get married, which basically says you can't. The Supreme Court can't knock it down. It's law. But they can knock down parts of it if it's overstepping and forces everyone to do something that goes against their religion. They're pretty tired of it. Looks like your eyes are closed.
Oh, I'm looking at my phone.
Yeah, but hey, can we hear Rob this time?
I can kind of hear him.
I don't know. Can you?
Yep.
Oh, I can never hear you, Rob. You're like that little devil sitting on my shoulder going.
At least I'm not going.
Dude, then,
Huh?
have you ever
Hey, Rob,
played
have you ever played Quake
Quake
1996?
1996?
I've never been a big
Anyway,
Quake person. I've played Quake a few times. Rob, Trade is asking you if you've ever played Quake 1996.
Quake
Quake.
doesn't even sound familiar.
You don't know Quake?
No,
Quake?
no.
I think wasn't it kind of like Doom?
Yes, very much.
Dude, I played like Doom back in the 90s. Like the original Doom.
Yeah, Quake
Like
was like another
8-bit.
Doom.
You know what? I think I did play Quake, but there was no differentiation for me between it and Doom.
No, it was pretty much from what I remember, it was almost identical type game. It was very similar, very similar.
Yeah, I don't know. My chat won't pull up for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh. So I figured out what was going on. My shit was hot. I was overheating. That's.
I played Team Fortress many times. That was actually a really fun game.
Dude, you know what game I liked? Like old school games. Pacific Theater of Operation. I think it was either for the original Nintendo or maybe Super Nintendo. That was a badass strategy game. Man, you had to play the politics. You had to get the national budget and the military budget. You had to develop. You had to do your espionage and develop. It was so advanced for so long ago. Nowadays, it would be still on par with the depth of the strategy games now. But this was 30 years ago.
Well, and I'll go really old school. One of my favorite games. Two of my favorite games was the old original football game in the old Atari, and the old what is the Dragon Quest or something on old Atari, where you'd go through the castle and try to find the keys, and you'd have to avoid the dragons.
Zelda? No.
No,
Atari.
Long before Zelda, brother. This was the old original Atari.
Dude, I don't remember anything that advanced on Atari. I remember Pong and Asteroids.
It wasn't advanced.
If you ever watched Player Ready One or Player One, Player Ready One, where it's internet and he's trying to find all the keys. That's the final game that he had to win to get the final key to win the contract for the company. So it was a great game.
It sounds interesting, but I think it would have been too advanced for me to be interested in at that point because I was 5 years old.
I think it came out before you were 5.
No, I'm just saying when I was playing Atari, I was 5 years old. It was the awesome thing when all the kids went to school and I got to play Atari all day because my mom worked nights. That was awesome.
So Trade was saying yes, and Team Fortress tells you something, ? This game is very good economically. Investing in this game in cases will someday increase in price. Limited case 2016.
Yeah, I just saw an original sealed version of Super Mario Brothers selling for $1 million. It is insane. I wish I'd hung on to all that stuff. You know how rich I would be. I had an original Nintendo until I don't know, 20 years ago, I guess.
Man,
maybe 15 years ago.
I still had all my old Star Wars stuff from the late 70s, 80s. My old Atari stuff. But I think my sister went through our attic when she bought the house and dumped everything. I found out that she had taken a lot of my Millennium Falcon from the 70s and 80s. She took it and took it home and put it in her daycare, and all the kids were beating it up and playing with them.
How did you not kill your sister for that? Be like, I love you, sis.
Remember the Atari had that Atari had that old little silver box that you used to have to screw into the back of the TV
Oh,
in order
yeah.
for the coaxial to hook up
And
to
then you
it?
had the little knob on the back that would go up and down to switch
Yeah,
from TV
yeah.
to game mode. Yeah.
Yeah, the RCA adapter
Man,
to
our
switch it
kids are
back and
never
forth
gonna
between
know
internet.
that.
Dude, the length of shit that we could go through that like our kids will never know. Our kids will never understand being attached to a wall to talk on the phone.
Right?
The old rotary
Uh,
phone.
Never. Yeah, the rotary.
Dude, but I grew up poor, so like nobody will ever understand cooking on a wood stove.
I
Oh,
know.
please.
I
I've done that
want
so
to.
many times.
When I build my house, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm getting
Oh, yeah.
a wood stove because the wood stoves are the shit. You can heat your house perfect.
Just don't do that in Texas, bro. You'll fucking melt.
Oh well, I mean, the winters are pretty cool here. I've already had a couple
Oh,
of fires.
please. Jeez.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I know what the northern weather is like. That's the reason why I moved to Texas.
You know what it's like
I
in
thought
Alaska?
it was because all your exes live in Texas.
No,
That's why he lives in
I
Tennessee.
lived in Texas once, and that was in '96.
You lived in Texas once?
Yep. in
Yeah, right. You
96,
lived
for like-
right before I met you, right?
No, it was way after.
You live
That's
in
what I
Texas
was-
now. What are you talking about?
It was before I went to Job Corps. 96, bro.
Here.
We knew each other way before '96.
I don't know, dude. That was so long ago. I barely remember it.
90s,
Oh,
late
geez.
80s, early 90s.
Dude, you remember what I was like in the 90s? I don't remember that.
Oh, you were a kid.
I've been out of high school for 2 years now, by 96.
Oh, that's just because you're older than shit.
Yeah, because I'm so much older than you.
When did Back to the
You are,
when,
Grandpa.
When did
Yeah.
Back to the Future come out? Back to the
Is
Future
that
2?
85?
The second one?
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look.
Holy shit.
You mean the what?
We're coming up on an hour and a half.
Oh, wow. Well, give me just a second and we'll wrap it up. But I am curious. What year was Back to the Future?
Hold on, I'll find out.
We have to look. Let's see. Google Back to the Future 2.
You know,
1989.
89.
The one where he disregarded all the rules that he like insisted were important in the first one.
89.
That was 89. Oh my God, we're old.
Yeah, well, that's about the time we knew each other. Probably 19.
And yeah, the first one was 85. Like I said, I was already 10.
Dude, but how bad did you guys want a hoverboard?
Oh, hell yeah. That was
Well,
awesome.
you wanted one so
He
bad
finally
that
to
you.
start coming out with it.
Rob wanted one so bad that he told everybody at school that he was making one.
Yeah, I caught fire.
Yeah, you caught fire, right?
It's nice that they finally created the hoverboard.
I like the jetpack better.
Well, I got one in my barn. The fuck you do? This fucking thing is a fucking hoverboard.
No, I like the hoverboard. They have the parks that you can go use your hoverboard on. It's all has to do with magnetics. They have metal boards, and they flip the magnets upside down so it pushes the away from the metal. And you can and just push along. You have a hoverboard.
So you're talking about the one. You're talking about the one that you have to ride on a copper ramp.
Yeah.
I think not the best example of a hoverboard.
You said you think that is not?
Yeah, not the best example of a hoverboard.
It works.
Yeah, but you have to be like on a copper ramp to use it. That's kind of not very handy.
For another one that works without it, then great.
Well, I mean, they do have one that's like jet propulsion, but like sketchy as hell. Like, I mean, I've seen the one working that you're talking about. Tony Hawk actually went and took one for a ride.
Yeah, he did.
So anyway, all kinds of crazy shit going on in this stupid country because of the stupid people that are running it. And that's why I call it a stupid country, because right now it seems like approximately 50 to 51% of this country are fucking idiots. Well, actually, I'd have to assume that it's like over 50%. I have to say 60% of them are stupid, because at least 20% of the voters on the right are stupid also.
Yeah.
But they just happen to vote right.
Yeah.
They're just a little less stupid.
Yeah, they're just stupid. They're just stupid in more special ways. So I don't know. I'm dude. We're not even 2 years into Biden, and I'm so fucking tired of this guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I can't even like. I can't think of one thing that he's accomplished. Nothing. Like, even Jimmy Carter, even if they were like piddly, he still did something.
Yeah.
Like, how do you like? I mean, hey, he's gonna go down in the history books, man. Nobody's gonna forget the Biden presidency.
What is one of the worst presidencies we've ever had?
One of. I think he's the. I think he just barely edges out FDR for the worst president ever.
Do they?
And yes, I do say FDR is the worst president ever, because he did the most out of all presidents to ruin our constitutional republic.
Yeah. No, I won't disagree with the FDR being horrible.
So, yeah, he can cram that new deal up his skeletal ass at this point.
Carter was pretty freaking bad, though.
I'll shove my hand up his ass and work his mouth like a puppet.
Oh, dude.
Oh wait, somebody's already doing that.
Rob,
Yeah, Obama.
I gotta fight Obama for that position.
Rob, I don't need to know about your Brad. I don't need to know about your fantasies.
Oh, I think we all know my fantasies, right, Rob? Go ahead, play.
Oh, we definitely know.
There she is. Couldn't let you do the show without showing you that.
Yeah, can't do a show without Kinky Kelly. Now watch, we're gonna get tagged by Kevin Smith for saying Kinky Kelly.
Are you going
That's a copyright strike.
Are you going to tell me why people make jokes on the internet from the state of Ohio?
What?
That was one Trade asked. Are you going to tell me why people make jokes on the internet from the state of Ohio? Question mark.
I don't get the question.
Neither do I. Come on.
Jokes about the state of Ohio, or jokes from the state of Ohio? Like, I don't know. Ohio's pretty good at basketball.
It says
football.
Why people make jokes on the internet from the state of Ohio?
Yeah. Oh.
Why? Like, is that a setup? Is that a punchline?
No,
like I don't
know. It's like, well, what can people only from can people?
I don't get. I
the only ones that tell jokes. I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah, that must be a typo or something. If you're asking why people make jokes about people in Ohio, like, come out of the cornfield for a minute and look around, and you might figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like, Step out from behind the cow.
But if they step out from behind the cornfield, it'll just lead them to another cornfield.
Right? Oh wait, but we got some weed over there too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. So here's the reason why, Trey. This is the reason why people make fun of people in Ohio. In most states, you don't see a family reunion as a dating opportunity. In most states, if you go to a barn dance, you're not dancing with the animals. In most states, your uncle and your daddy are two different people. In most states, yeah, I don't know. I could just keep going forever. I'll get really offensive if I keep going.
You're already offensive, Rob. You're already
Yeah.
Rob offends everyone. He's an equal opportunity offender.
Mm-hmm.
I am, absolutely. I hate all people equally. That's why anytime somebody suggests I'm racist, I'm like, you're stupid. I hate everybody. Well, no, that would be accurate. I am a racist. I don't think much of the human race. Anyway, so we have devolved off the rails into the gorge and down the river. So, any final words, Brad?
No. Good day, mates. Stay free.
Hey, next episode we should all wear hoodies and call it the Fetterman edition. Brian.
Oh, no.
Brian, you got anything?
There's a lot of stuff going on, and there's always a lot of stuff going on. It'll be interesting to read this classified book you were talking about at the beginning.
Yeah, guys, read that before Saturday. Like, I totally want to talk about that. But like, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I mean, we're still gonna have to explain for the listeners. But like, you guys will get what I'm talking about if you read it. Like, how fucking bizarre it is, and it makes you really, really wonder what they left classified.
I mean, but I have heard a few scientists talk about the flash freezing of mammoths because of the flipping of the poles.
Yeah, but
the poles are shifting and they're getting ready to flip and all this.
Yeah, but that's my point. I mean, most of the scientists you hear talking about it started talking about it 40 years later. This guy was way ahead of his time.
Yeah,
but why did the CIA classify it? That's why, guys. I want you guys to read it, like, so we can like kind of have a discussion.
I want you to know.
Yeah, but why?
What do you got, Rob?
Because it doesn't follow their agenda.
Or it does follow their agenda, and they don't want us to know the real agenda. I don't know. The lizard people are in control of everything. Obama's a lizard person, and he's got his hand up Biden's ass. That's all I got to say. That's my closing for the day. So, anyways, yeah. So after you get done strangling the gay frogs or the hermaphroditic frogs, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe, the share, and share it with your friends. Share it on your Facebook or everything. We're everywhere. Follow us wherever. Saying some madly offensive shit that we have to cut the show off on YouTube. Then we can cut that off. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe. Make sure to chat us. Trey, thanks for chatting us again. And guys, have a great night. It's always a pleasure to do the show for you guys.
Thank you very much.
Hey, guys.
All right, welcome, revelers.